Welcome in. It is day 137 and you're speaking with the Meeples Champion. And today we're going to be jumping into one of my all-time favorite games. This is one of the oldest games as it exists. This is a game that I have played since I was about 6. I have competed in states in this game. It was the game that really got me into board games. You can't see it, but off to the side here, I actually have a table that is this game so that I can sit down specifically to play it when I have people who are competitive in the house with me. That game is the classic chess. So chess is a really good one-on-one abstract type game where, or strategy game, I should say, where the concept is you're dealing with your front row of 8 pawns who primarily just move one space at a time. Your opening move, you can move them up to 2 if you want to. And when they are killing a piece, they do it diagonally forward. You have your knights, which are your horses. They move in either 2 forward, 1 to the right or left, 1 forward, 2 to the right or left, or you can do the same backwards. These hop over other pieces, so all that matters is the landing spot. You have your bishops, which move diagonally. You have your castles or rooks that move in the horizontal and vertical. You have your queen, which is a combination of your rook and of your bishop together. And you have your king, who is the same as the queen, but he only can move one space at a time. And the concept is you're trying to capture your opponent's king. So if you ever have a piece threatening the king, meaning you've moved a piece and now the king is in danger of dying, it's a check. And if you ever put them into a check that they cannot get out of, it is a checkmate, and that is the end of the game. So this is one of the best games there ever has been. It's a game that when I first went to high school, found the chess club day one. I was really excited. I was a weird kid in high school because of my balance of things. I was on the football team, I was on the tennis team, and I was on the chess team. And that was literally my 3 seasons. I would do every fall coming in, I'd play football. When I hit the winter, I'd do my chess. And when I hit the spring, I'd go play tennis. Nobody really was on any of those things with me. I was the only person in all 3 of it. As a result, I knew a lot of different people in the school. And day one, I walked in and I challenged the president of the club and I beat him. And immediately the teacher who ran that club realized that I was really good at chess. And after going back and forth, my sophomore year, I became the president. And with me and this teacher and the students who were in my class that had come in working together, we managed to get that school to join in and compete for the chess team. Before it was just really a club. People just played for fun. We managed to go for 3 years competing with the rest of the state, trying to see if we could be one of the top schools. And well, I never won the championship or anything like that. I did compete for a couple seasons as the number 1 for my school and was really highly ranked. Would go, and if I ended up having like 10 matches in a season, I'd win 6 or 7 matches against top ranks. It was a really cool experience. I hope this particular copy, because when I got to college, they ran at my college, University of Massachusetts Lowell. They ran a chess tournament, and I ended up entering, and this was the prize, and I took down that tournament. I think it was 4 or 5 rounds. I'm not sure how many. It was really exciting. It was one of those things that it was pretty cool to be able to go to college, see there was a tournament, enter it with a few friends, and have everybody really just be like, wow, because I was a runaway expectation to win, and there was only one other kid that really everybody expected could keep up with me, and my matches were quick. And when we got to the finals round, it was a 5-minute matchup that I won, and it was just one of those like, wow, they went fast and he won quick. And it was really awesome to take that down. So here I am all these years later. I still love to play chess. Me and my father-in-law play it every time that we are doing a holiday together. We have been competing in chess for years now. He's a really good opponent. I'm probably about 66%. I win about 2 out of every 3 games, but he pushes me, and he's the only opponent that's pushed me for years. I don't lose many games, so to lose a third of my games to him is really impressive because that is just not an occurrence often with me. I tend to win 90% of my matchups with opponents. So he represents most of my losses in my lifetime. Well, that being said, let's jump into our 7 categories. It's going to be tough to judge this one across all the boards because I'm using this as my stand-in, but there are other versions of this, and It's really just up to which one you get. When it comes to the art, again, this is like an abstract type art. The board itself, I mean, it's your classic board. The pieces are fine. I think that it all looks nice. And when it comes to the box, this box is beautiful. But not every box is that way. I think the art is perfectly fine because it's chess and we know what we're getting into. We're not in the TV show The Queen's Gambit. Chess is not going to be a sexy box most of the time, but it can be nice. And then you're just like hoping that you're not getting some creatively, you know, disturbing box. So it's a thumbs up. Components are pretty straightforward. They are really good. You have to make an effort to find a crappy chess game. Your board is either going to be, in the case of this one, it's a glass board, which is fantastic, but even the cardboard is fine. With your pieces, again, these are glass, but a lot of times you're going to get these plastic pieces, wooden pieces. Everything works for me. It's a thumbs up. Your price. This is where it depends on what you're looking for. Now, I didn't buy this, I won this, but if you are looking at a game that you decide to drop some money on, you might be looking at dropping $50, $60, $70. I got a smaller board that I use for when I travel. I bought it when I was in Greece. Now that board cost me, I want to say like 30 euros. So, that was a little expensive for the size board you're talking, but it was little metal pieces. It was really nice quality. It's unique. The table that I have on the other corner of the room, that was would have normally been like a $250 table, but there's a little bit of a gash on it. My mom got it for me for under 100. So I found my way into some nice boards, but in general, you can just go buy a basic chess game for like $15. It's not expensive, and you're going to find them everywhere. The Queen's Gambit TV show exploded chess. When that show came out, chessboards increased by sales by over 400%. So yes, it's out there. You will find it. It's a thumbs up. Your difficulty. This is not a game for the faint of heart. Yes, kids can play. I was 7 when I started learning this game. And I think it's a game that's great for helping develop minds and helping kids to learn about forward thinking. That being said, this isn't a game you necessarily jump at that younger age. And when it comes to gamers like myself who have such big collections now, it's hard to argue that you need this in the collection because do you play one-on-one games? Have you gotten to a point where this is just not the theme you're looking for? For me, it's a game I keep based on opponent. Thankfully, my father-in-law is a really good opponent. My dad wouldn't have a lot of time to play anymore these days, but my dad he taught me chess. He's a really good opponent. But beyond those two, I don't have many people I know that I can ask to play a game of chess and actually expect a moment where I'm going to sit there for 20, 30 minutes thinking, and that's the important part to chess to me. Can I actually take the time to think? Do I have to really fight it out with the strategy of the other opponent? The game is as hard as your opponent is. So I think that the difficulty is a little tough, but just make sure that who you're practicing with is on your level and you can both grow together and then slowly adapt and bring more people in as you feel you've outgrown somebody. I'm going to give it a thumbs up there. Replayability. I told you I play with my father-in-law. Every holiday, if we're together for a week, 2 weeks, we probably get in. I want to say he came here for 2 weeks at one point. We probably played in those 2 weeks somewhere in the range of 30 games. We've played on probably 7 different holiday trips together, over 200 games. So yes, it is a play it a bunch game. Play it once. If somebody lives with you, it's every day play a game. If somebody doesn't live with you, then hey, when we get together, we play a couple games in a row. You can play this a lot. It's a thumbs up. Keys to victory. The game kind of plays itself out. It's all up to how your opponent opens you up. Are you going to be basically it comes down to, are you going to be offensive or defensive? Are you just looking to protect and try to catch your opponent off guard or the checkmate when you haven't really killed any pieces? Or are you looking to try and wipe out your opponent's pieces? Or are you the type that wants to get all your pawns killed so all your bigger pieces are opened up? There's a lot of ways to play the game. Those first 5 to 10 moves kind of preset up your whole plan, and how your opponent reacts presets up what's going to really be your adaptation in those next sets of moves. But in general, based on how those first 20 moves between the two you go, you really are going to know where you are. I'm in a fighting game, I'm in a piece for piece game, I'm in a lead game. You have to be able to adapt quick in this game, but the keys to victory are there. It's a thumbs up. Is the game unique? Overall, I'd say yes. People think of this game, they might compare it to checkers because it's on the same board. It's not checkers. For years, people have made those jokes about, NFL coaches. Oh, this guy's playing checkers or that guy's playing chess. Well, the reason they do that is because they're on the same board, but one of them is far, far harder. That being said, chess is based off of an even older game. It's I believe, Chinese game, and I'm having a moment where I'm not remembering the exact name, but it's very similar. It has pieces that have similar moves, but they change. It's a harder, much harder game. And there are other games that are out today that do stuff like this. The War Chest game. War Chest has a moving game like this. There's other ones that are smaller games. But the idea of there being pieces on a board and you're moving them around. Even if you want to ignore the theme and look at battle lore compares. So I can't give a unique. It's got to be a thumbs down. Overall, what do I think? This is an amazing game. I don't care if you want to get a great copy or a cheap copy. Get a copy, put it in your house. It's a fun game to play with people on your level. It's a great game for your kids to help advance their knowledge and be able to make them faster thinkers. And it's one of those games that's just gonna find its way into your collection in a positive way. So I think it's great. Maybe it doesn't hit for you, and if it doesn't, that's fine. My wife, not a fan. She can't play games with me. Not everybody's going to get into it, and that's okay. Just make sure if it hits for you to get a copy. And if you're not sure, get a cheap copy. And if you know it will hit for you, do what you feel works best. I've got quite a few copies just because I like to make sure I've got a bunch of options for on the road, at the house, downstairs, upstairs. I just love to have copies. Well, it has been day 137, and we've been speaking about the game chess. And you've been speaking to the Meeples champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description where I'll be adding an Amazon link for this game in case you want it to your collection. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.